my 9-month Alcoholics Anonymous chip, which I picked up, by the way, on Mardi Gras last year. 9 months was a very big deal, and there are some people who are specifically challenged at Mardi Gras. Thank God I have never had the physical cravings for alcohol, but some people suffer very terribly from that. Thank God I have met people who have loved me and people who have gotten me through, and here I am with my 9-month chip right at the place where they sell those green hand grenades. In the circle in which I have tried to travel recently, one is expected to be responsible for one's own behavior. And when you have to make an amends for your behavior, you go out of your way and do it. This is the Sobu restaurant. Following after this is an amends going out to someone that I'm going to ask if she will love me and help me and forgive me for my behavior at Thanksgiving and maybe here at Sobu on Christmas. My behavior will be better. Love you.
All you holding me, saying I miss New Orleans. I miss that town each night and day. I know I'm not wrong. The feelings get stronger the longer I stay away. Miss the moss covered buds, the tall sugar pines, where mockingbirds used to sing. Hey, that like a story, see them boys in Mississippi are hurrying into spring. Oh, the Mardi Gras, the Marines, all Creole seals that fill the air. I dream of only matters with you, and soon I will share my with them. Now you should know it to me, saying I miss New Orleans, since that's where you left your heart. And there's something more, I miss the one I care for, more than I miss the whole thing.
So we're going to look up a guy named John Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R. I don't know if he calls himself Wagner. He is one of the paranatural researchers who talks about poltergeists. And I have heard several stories about poltergeists here at the Villa Convento, which I'm going to turn the camera, is basically catty-cornered from the old Ursulines convent. We're going to go look at the convent in a few minutes. The thing is, the poltergeists tend to present in places where there was trauma, horrific human trauma, which I have tried to think about how to describe on YouTube. I'm going to go outside and talk to you about the stairwell that goes up stairs and the one old elevator that they have. And I don't want to be graphic. I inferred some of it when I was talking about slaves being or Africans being kidnapped from Africa. This is one of the places where human dignity was sold as a commodity. I'm not talking here about a business deal between two consenting adults. Got it? I'm talking about people who were so trapped that St. Paul, in writing to the Corinthians, said in chapter 6 and verse 9 of his first letter to the Corinthians that there is no room in heaven, neither for sex slavers or people who deal with sex slavers. Sit down, Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're in my field. I know what 1 Corinthians 6:9 says. It's talking about horrific experiences like this. And people like John Wagner then say, is it possible that such human pain cried out or groaned out until that pain transcends time and space, so that someone else later is a lightning rod for it? Here at the Villa Convento, I have a very good friend, who was going through a very difficult time in her life, some battles with cancer, some personal problems, some divorce, and then somehow she met a nice guy, a really very, very nice guy. Well, you can see how her emotions were all askew at the time. They came here to the Villa Convento. I mentioned the old elevator. She went upstairs in the elevator. He climbed the stairs to their room. When the elevator got to the top floor, she says that it felt as though someone had grabbed her from behind, knocked her around the elevator, tore her backpack off. Her things were all askew all over the elevator. At the same time, her partner was just reaching the top floor on the steps, and he said that he witnessed the elevator closing and witnessed her trying to collect her things, but he never saw anybody get off the elevator. Almost got busted. So looking back down at the courtyard, so then in these descriptions of poltergeists, would she have then been like a lightning rod for all of this pain and fear and travail to present through? I don't know. I know that I have read that explanation several times of the poltergeists. Okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you may stand up and express your opinion now, but could it be that there's something about time and space and emotional energy and mental energy that the physicists just don't understand yet? That we can't explain what happens, although they appear across culture and throughout history. I have decided to get me to the nunnery. Don't tell me, let me guess, CleiNiece. The federal marshals are after you. I don't know what to do with you, CleiNiece. It's like you deal your own deck. You sometimes come up with a handful of deuces and you turn them into aces. This one can't possibly work, CleiNiece. What could possibly go wrong, Buttons? You do realize, CleiNiece, they don't allow men or alcohol in the convent. You got that right, CleiNiece? I'm very sure there will be a workaround. They'll be reasonable. You're gonna work around the nuns? Okay, let's see how that turns out, CleiNiece. Uh, do you remember, CleiNiece, the night you decided to have prescription bingo at Shady Oaks Seniors Only RV Park and Resort in Bella Chase? That didn't work out very well, CleiNiece. You gave the old women testosterone, CleiNiece. They were about to tear up the place. They wanted to have a kegger and organize a rugby team. Do you remember that one, darling? Okay, CleiNiece, you gave the old men estrogen. They sat around all night crying about how fat they were. It was the best bingo ever, Buttons. This idea is worse than that idea, ain't CleiNiece? I already have my coffin, Buttons. A coffin. CleiNiece, we've already had this discussion. We already talked about this, CleiNiece. Nobody carries a oh God. Sister Mary ain't CleiNiece. Of course it is. You remember, Aunt CleiNiece, there's a reason they don't have the windows open in the convent. They have bars on the windows, CleiNiece. Do you remember that? Okay. There's no workaround with the nuns, CleiNiece.